Maha Saraswati here. Today I'd like to just give a short tribute to my dear friend and guru, Dr. John Mumford, Swami Anandakapila Saraswati, who passed away MAHASAMADHI, taking MAHASAMADHI 1 year ago yesterday. So I was thinking about doing it yesterday, but it was a little bit much for me to do yesterday. And I was watching a lot of times, I watched Dr. Ananda's beautiful tribute that he did actually 1 year ago today, the day after Swamiji passed away, following the Maha Sivaratri. So what I'd like to do is just talk about my friend, dear friend and guru, mentor, Swamiji, and about how we met and what followed on from that. There's 3 initiations that I've had through Swamiji. Talk about that and who was Swamiji. Just a simply amazing individual, a man, a great man. And how I actually got to meet Swamiji was I purchased one of his books in 1993 when I was at a bookshop in Sydney. Adyar bookshop in Sydney. I've bought a heap of books, and because I was just getting back into yoga after being out of it for a few years. So I found this book on Swamiji's Ecstasy Through Tantra. And yeah, so I picked up that book and started reading it. And what happened, I'd heard about John Mumford, Dr. John Mumford, Swami Anandakapila, being part of our lineage in Swami Satchidananda's lineage. And in 1996, in Australia, everybody was preparing for the World Yoga Convention that was coming up. And Swamiji's name was on the invited guest speakers. And so I was really anticipating to hopefully meet Swamiji at the convention, which was really simply fantastic. And I was actually staying at an ashram on the Central Coast for a month, helping the other sannyasins and inmates at the ashram do a lot of the preparation in the lead up to the convention, which was huge. And I stayed there for a month. I think I might have even stayed in my tent for a month by myself. Anyway, one night while I was there, asleep, I had a dream. So I had a dream where I saw my guru, Swami Niranjan, who's my sannyasa guru. I took Diksha from Swamiji in 1995, the year previous, up at the ashram at Mangrove Mountain. So this is 1 year after that. I'd already been to India for 4, maybe 5 months, and I'd returned back in 96, and I was helping out the ashram, and I was preparing for this. So this one night up at the ashram, I had a dream, and I was sitting at a table with Swami Niranjan. He was on the opposite side of the table. It's funny, but when you get into these sort of relationships, guru-disciple relationships, you get very astrally aware, you might say, and your dreams take on a new dimension. And Swamiji was sitting at the other side of the table, and then I saw a book slide along the table by itself. It just slid along the table and stopped right in front of me. And I looked down at the book, and there was a snake, like a cobra, gold-coloured or geru-coloured snake or a cobra on the cover. And I read it on the cover, and it said Dr. John Mumford, and it was about Kundalini and the chakras. So I just put that dream away, filed it away somewhere, and then at the convention, I met Swamiji at his book signing. He was signing books that people were purchasing, and I've got some of Swamiji's books here. So the book that I got off him was this one, Chakra and Kundalini Workbook. See with the snake on the front there. So this was 1996. So Swamiji's got the date up there where he wrote on it. 1996, the 10th, 1996. So that was the second book that I purchased about Swamiji, and I actually physically got to meet him. Now, 1 month later, Swamiji wrote to me. So I was really happy. So you can see the date there, 23rd of November. This is 1 month later, in 1996. Swamiji wrote to me, want to know about me. And that was when our friendship really started. So after that, I started going to meet Swamiji. So I'll just take that off share again. So I just wanted to show you when our friendship or relationship really sort of started, and how it started with that dream with Swami Niranjan. Almost as if Swami Niranjan was sort of just handing me over to John Mumford, Swami Anandakapila, because maybe I needed some closer tutelage, you might say, in the guru-disciple relationship. So anyway, I'll just take that off share and put that away. And that was when our friendship really started, 1996. So I've spoken about this before. I continued seeing Swamiji almost every Guru Purnima, right up until 2020. From 1996, and we had a lot of correspondence and phone calls later on, emails. So while we're talking about Swamiji's books, I'll just go through them and just show you some of the books for those of you that are unaware of Swamiji. This is the first book that Swamiji actually wrote in 1960. So that's a long time ago, 1960, when he was into a deep study of yoga in India, and this book was written from Haridwar, where he was staying up in the Himalayas in the foothills at Haridwar. Psychosomatic Yoga. So this is a classic, this one, and I actually only got that recently after Swamiji, because you couldn't get it. It's not with the publishers anymore, so I had to find a second-hand bookstore to purchase that one. That was in 2020. I got that one. So this is the one Ecstasy Through Tantra. That's a classic. This one came out in, I got this one, like I said, in 1993. And then over the years, when I went back and visited Swamiji after meeting him in 96, when this book came out, Chakra and Kundalini Workbook. So then, during our visits, I think in 1999, this one came out, Celebrating Death, Life After Death, Beginning or End. So Swamiji put his seal on it. I actually got 2 copies. So they're all collector's items now. And then the same year, this one I think came out, the Karma Manual. These are fantastic books, and especially this one, Magical Tatwas. Fantastic book. And they come with a set of Tatwa cards and that you use for Tritak, for internal dharana, for concentration practices and meditation practices. So they go with this book, the Tatwas. So they were fantastic. And yeah, while I'm wearing this shawl, I got this one. Swamiji gave it to me in one of my visits, and over the years, I don't know, back probably about 2006, after he returned from India. So he used to go to, Swamiji used to go to India annually. He'd go to India for 4 months of the year, and then he'd go to Australia and USA, and he just rotated like that, year in, year out. For decades he did that. So, and I think in '93 he started going annually to the, I think it's Dr. Ananda's ashram down there in Pondicherry, and where Swami Geetananda Maharaj started up the ashram down there, or it's a very famous ashram down there, which I've never been to, but Swamiji said maybe I should go there one day. So who knows, I might end up going there one day. But what this talk is about, and I'll actually, I wrote down a couple of things about this. I won't share the screen. So over the years, when Swamiji, I first met Swamiji, he was living in a small flat at Paddington in Sydney. So that was about 97. I went there, but in the first meeting, I think in 2006, could have been a little bit earlier, I went to visit Swamiji one day, and we both did a seated yoga nidra. So usually yoga nidra, the relaxation practice, is done laying on the floor, on your back, on the floor. So Swamiji and I did it in a seated position, and we listened to his recording, which is a fantastic recording. I've still got it now. I listen to it daily because I just love hearing Swamiji's voice, and it's a great yoga nidra, and it's yoga nidra with nyasa, so which is quite different from the yoga nidra that I was used to through the Sachinanda or Bihar School of Yoga tradition. And Swami Anandakapila was a pioneer in that area, bringing out this yoga nidra, which he'd been taught by Swami Geetananda, I'm pretty sure, way back in the 60s or even before that. So one day we're listening to the cassette recording. Swamiji gave me the cassette after the meditation, and I've still got that cassette with me as well. That's in cassette form. So whilst we were seated in a meditative posture next to Swamiji, we both listened and practiced the yoga nidra technique with nyasa that Swamiji recorded in the 60s. So Swamiji gave me the cassette afterwards and said, practice it. I still have it with me, but now I listen to his CD version daily. That was 2006, possibly earlier. In 2012, I told Swamiji I'm going back to India, and because I was getting involved with the Kundalini Research Project, and I wanted to see Swamiji, call in and see him before I went to India and get his blessings and any inspiration he could give me, because I was going on a tour through the Himalayas and also Rajasthan, and we had an official launch of the Kundalini Research Project, PR media program, really, at the India International Centre. So prior to that, 1 week before I left Australia, I went to visit Swamiji, and it was in late May 2012, 1 week before I left, because I arrived in India on the 2nd of June. Before I was to leave Australia to visit India, I visited Swamiji just to seek his blessings for the trip ahead. I did not know what to expect, so I'm just reading this little bit that I wrote down yesterday, because I was going to talk about this yesterday. I didn't know what to expect and had no expectations, only to have Swamiji's darshan. After Swamiji greeted me and we had a cup of tea and relaxed for a little while, Swamiji asked me to follow him downstairs. So downstairs, the next level down, Swamiji had an office and 1 or 2 bedrooms downstairs, and we entered Swamiji's puja room where he did his meditation and devotional pujas. And then Swamiji asked me to sit down on a chair in front of his altar. I calmly followed Swamiji's instructions and sat down quietly and closed my eyes. Then I heard bells starting to ring in my ears. Then I felt Swamiji place both of his hands on the crown of my head. So this is a full Shaktipat, hands-on transfer of energy or initiation. So Swamiji placed both of his hands on the crown of my head. Swamiji then circumambulated me whilst keeping his hands on my head. As Swamiji was circling me, he was chanting the holy mantras of the goddesses that Swamiji worships. At the end of the chanting, the whole of my brain felt like it was vibrating very fast. It was terrific, and the light currents were also very terrific. I did not know what had happened, but I knew I will definitely find out in time. The ramifications of this Shaktipat initiation from Swamiji are with me, and I know that he has blessed me so that I can receive the divine's grace. So that was huge, and a few days later, or a week later at the most, I was flying out to India, and that was just simply amazing. So that was 2012. The third initiation was in 2017, Guru Purnima. Myself and Mukta and one of Swamiji's close friends and disciples, Tor Hitchcocks, all 3 of us were to be initiated personally by Swamiji into a very elaborate and intricate tantric sadhana. And it was all about the Gayatri mantra. He called it the Gayatri mantra tantric initiation. All 3 of us were initiated personally by Swamiji into an elaborate and intricate tantric sadhana. Each day were 3 lessons, 6 lessons in total, and they were held over 3 successive Sundays. I went to visit Swamiji. I was from Gosford. We went down and saw him at his house over 3 weekends. So 6 lessons in all come culminating with Swamiji's personal prana and breath entering each initiate. On finishing our initiation, I asked Swamiji, "Who did you receive this initiation from, Swamiji?" Swamiji replied, and he looked at me, he looked into me, and Swamiji said, "You know who it's from." I knew then it was, without telling me, I knew then it was received by our Guru, Swami Anandakapila Saraswati. So that was an amazing initiation into Gayatri. And well, I'm sure this Gayatri mantra initiation is unlike any others. And it's very intricate and fantastic. And I've completed a couple of anusthans of the Gayatri mantra to just build up the vibrations, which is completely different technique. So that's just, anustan is just the mantra repetition, many thousands of them. But this technique, the tantric initiation, is completely different and really fantastic. So that's the 3 initiations that I wanted to say that, you know, I've shared with Swamiji. And apart from that, it's just been a very close friendship and mentorship, you might say. But Swamiji gave me advice on everything. What to do, what not to do with regarding business, who to be involved with, who not to be involved with, who to steer clear from, all that sort of thing. And, you know, the dramas we both went through, you know, we had a lot of things in common. And Swamiji is just a brilliant person. And I just wanted to just finish this up. So I don't know what else to say, but I'm just going to share a photo of a visit. So that's just a great photo. I think this one's from 2014. Mukta and I went to visit Swamiji, and I think it was one good. Oh no, this was February 2014. So, and 17 was that Gayatri Mantra initiation on Guru Purnima. And yes, just simply an amazing person. And all we can do is what Dr. Ananda said in his beautiful tribute last year to John Mumford, Dr. John Mumford, was how can we repay that debt to Swamiji that he entrusted in us, and is to teach as good or as well as we can what he taught us to pass on. So that's what we hope to do. And today I've re-registered Satyam Yoga Centre in Australia, which Swamiji loved so much, from 1998 when I first registered it. And teachings will soon be coming out. So we're getting a new website. And lots of things are happening, and it's all started since remembering all the things that Swamiji's told me. And that's all I wanted to say, but we really love you, Swamiji. And I just wanted to share this beautiful photo of Swamiji there from back in the 80s, I think this one was. So Swamiji is always in our heart. Okay, so I just wanted to say a little short message. Hari Om. Namaste, Swamiji.